started from the home scene because the National Sport Commission has confirmed 6,382 athletes and officials will participate in the 2025 National Youth Games in Asaba, Delta State from August 29 to September 6, 2025. The figure finalized through the digital registration management process covers all 36 states and the FCT with 4,961 athletes, 635 coaches, 386 officials, and 400 delegates. Although Gombe State has not completed registration for its 74 member teams, their inclusion will not affect the total. The games will feature 37 sports, including athletics, football, basketball, and other disciplines to broaden talent discovery. Team Delta, defending champions and hosts, remain favorites, but we face stiff competition from Lagos State, Ogun State, Rivers, Edo, and others. The National Sports Commission emphasized that the games go beyond medals, fostering unity, discipline, and national pride, while also serving as a launch pad for future national athletes. The competition officially begins with the opening ceremony on August 29, marking 9 days of sporting action and talent showcase down there in Asaba Delta State. So Kingsley, the numbers of participating officials, athletes, and their contingent has been released. But beyond the number, what do you make of the preparation so far? Do you see Delta State to, of course, surpass previous edition in terms of the organization, in terms of providing accommodation, the lodge, and everything?
Yeah, for me, I think you take a look at it. So far, so good. No hitches yet has been heard in terms of preparation. If you take a look at it, athletes are already in Delta State, and we've not heard of issue of maybe poor hostel facilities, and all of that. So I think if you want to take a look at it, everything is very much, ready. You want to talk about the facilities, they'll be using for this particular National Youth Games. I think so far so good. Delta States, they have one of the best sporting facilities, of course, in the country, and they've been maintaining that. So if you take a look at it, you know that they're very much prepared. Talking about surpassing the previous edition, we just have to see when the game, of course, kickstart, because you can't just give them that pass mark in terms of surpassing the previous record when the game has not been concluded. We have to see the overall organization, of the games before we can say, okay, they did a good job. They had a very impressive performance than what we saw, last time. So far so good. I think Delta State, they're ready for this one. Don't forget, they won it last time, and now they are hosting it, so they know what is at stake. They know what it takes, to put up such a competition, and of course, they are also prepared in terms of also going out there and turning out medals for themselves. So when you talk about preparation, I think Delta State are very much prepared with what we've seen on ground so far.
Delta State very much prepared with what we've seen on ground so far. But 37 sports in different categories, Kingsley. Let's discuss a bit regarding the number of games set to be taking part there. We know that football, athletics, basketball, these are some of the key sports that you expect different states to be vying for honor for. But then beyond those regular sports, just few days ago, we had Adama, Abdul-Jamal Adama, making the nation proud, breaking several records, winning notable medal in the area of swimming. And you and I know that swimming is never our stronghold in terms of sport, but then Adama broke that record by creating history for himself. Which other area of sport do you think that the National Youth Game organizers or the National Sport Commission should probably channel their energy or focus in terms of developing that very particular area of sport beyond football, basketball, and athletics?
Taking a look at it, which other area of sports we should actually venture into? I can't really wrap my head around it, but I know that from what we're saying, major strength, of course, has been just like you mentioned, football, basketball. You talk about, tennis. We've been trying as much as we can to see how we can be up there. Our performance has not really been top-notch in international competitions, in tennis. But I just believe that the federation, of course, will be doing whatever they can to make sure they upgrade the tennis federation, and as well put up athletes that could go out there and make a mark, for the country. You talk about the likes of swimming. Yes, that's another area, of course, we should venture into, because in swimming, you stand a chance of racking, of course, a lot of medals, as it stands. But it's so unfortunate that we really do not have that. I don't think we have that swimming pool, that swimming pool facility where we can possibly, of course, compete. Like the national youth games that is coming at this point in time, I don't really know what's the state of the swimming pool facility in Delta State to make sure that athletes compete as it stands. So that's the challenge we're having. You talk about swimming, you won't go to the river to learn how to swim. When you go to the Olympics, all right, the swimming pool facility is not really like a river. It's well structured, so you know that you're on a particular track, while you're swimming. So you do not dive maybe down to another person's track, and all of that. But I've not really seen that, down here in Nigeria, a standard swimming pool, facility for athletes, to train with. That I've not seen. We say, yes, we have a lot of rivers around. There is a difference between you swimming inside the river and you swimming inside a standard swimming pool facility that is made for competition. In a river, you can swim to the left, swim to the right, swim anywhere you like, but in a standard pool competition, you focus on your track. All right, you focus on your track and try to meet up with your time, going back and going front, and all of that. So I don't really think we have that as well, in the country, and I think that's another area maybe we should measure. I don't think that would be too expensive, maybe for different states to have to equip, swimmers, down here in the country. Another area, of course, we should look at this point in time is boxing. The boxing federation is dying. We're not saying something very tangible coming out from that federation at this point in time. And I think if we could venture into that, that could possibly, help us, to rack up medals. In boxing, you have different categories, of racking up medals in global competition. So I think if that is, of course, is being done, definitely we'll also stand a chance, in racking up medals. That is what, of course, we should focus on at this point in time. Not just putting up different kind of sports that at the end of the day, when you spot out talent from that sport, you will not be able to nurture them. In fact, the facilities to carry on that particular sport, or to train these athletes on that particular sport, they're not there. All right. I heard the inclusion of some new sports, in this particular national game here. There is a competition for the deaf, and all of that. Can we keep up this? That's the question. It's not just by putting up these games. At the end of the day, there are no platform for we to grow or harness the talent, that will participate in all of these games. So for me, I think equipping the boxing federation as well as swimming federation is really what, of course, we can look into at this point in time and see if we can take advantage, for those sports.
All right. So